Last weekend it was Rare Evo in Las Vegas, and the Stuff team has been saying from the start that this will be kind of the BookCon from last year. And indeed there are a few announcements, 4 to be precise. I'm gonna go through all of them in this video. The first one is a modest one. They went with a ton of merch to Rare Evo. You can see here some Stuff hats or t-shirts. They had really a lot, like it was quite a big booth in there, and selling some books as well. Also this picture of the Charles token. So all merch was there. They didn't sell everything, so they decided to set up an online merch store to let anyone buy the merch. Not clear if it's the merch that they couldn't sell, if they will have a proper store which will replenish progressively, but merch store will not be a joke anymore. It will be a real thing. And I have a t-shirt, like a book t-shirt, like the VIP one from last year. I have a hat. I have the Stuff t-shirt from the BookCon as well, and they're all super good quality. I also have the jacket, the Book.io jacket, good quality, so it's great to buy, to rep the branding. And if you believe in Stuff and book and how big they're gonna be, it feels really good to be able to have that, and again, really good quality. So looking forward to see that. Another event which was happening in Las Vegas at the same time was Star Trek Las Vegas. Here you can see Mansky and Nacho who were in there because William Shatner will be publishing through Stuff.io. It was announced that the man with 2.4 million followers will be releasing a one-man show on Stuff.io, a long-form talk where he's telling stories, and a portion of this will be on Solana. So new chain added. If you participated to the BookCon last year, you may have filled the form with your Solana address. Will they finally use it? I don't know. But apparently it was a will from William Shatner to have a portion of the mint going to Solana, and the other portion is on Cardano. So fear not if you rather stay on Cardano and you want your transaction to succeed, then you'll be able to buy this interview. More importantly, they also released About Stuff episode 6. So during Rare Evo, you could scan a QR code and get access to it. I'll put the link in the description. It's completely free. It's on Base. It's a 27-minute interview with Sheila. If you want to watch, get to know the man better, maybe get a taste of the one-man show, you can watch it. If you have it, you also have whitelist for the one-man show. And I don't really know what to expect, but I think that out of all people with large following who did something on Stuff, this will be the biggest one. Because I see every time he posts something on X, he has a lot of replies, people are engaged, people really like him and want to support him. I don't know if he's gonna sell out or not, but I'm sure he's gonna bring a lot of new people. So pretty cool. And the other thing, I'm not sure if this is gonna be on Stuff or not, but he's writing a book. Who knows? Maybe if the one-man show goes well, the book will also find its way to Book.io. Now we crank it up a notch. This was quite a big announcement, which is the first game using the Charles token, Bison Valley. This is a Telegram app where you're given bisons and you have to feed them. And each time you feed them, it costs 1 Charles token. And the idea is to have the biggest bison by the end of the epoch. Top 3 get paid in Charles tokens. This is pretty cool because finally a use case for Charles. It's quite crazy when you think about it. I have an interview and I can use it to play a game. Like, what the hell? And here you see the guy is gonna tap on the screen. So every tap is like 50 kilos. And well, it's a lot of taps, so a lot of Charles tokens. I mean, a few dozens probably per bison if you want to play. So it's pretty fun, pretty addictive. And they have their own X account, so you can follow them there. They seem to be quite open to what the community has to say. So they ran some kind of, let's call it a closed beta during Rare Evo, and yeah, the winners got a rare NFT. Maybe it will come with some perks, I don't know, maybe some cosmetics in the game, but I thought it was pretty cool. So the game is not live yet, should be soon, I hope, since they were able to demonstrate it. So finally, a use case for Charles. Look at the chart. This is the weekend of Rare Evo. Awesome green candle, and then typical Cardano reaction, let's dump. At least it's a higher low. You can see here, nice progression. So I know there are two people on the book Discord who always talk about Charles, and they've been DCAing for a while. So I hope they're now in profits. Kudos to them for believing. I mean, they've been saying from the start that they would add utility. It just took more than a year, more or less. But now it is here, and this not only used the Charles token, but there was an announcement that Stuff is getting into gaming. Charles Hoskinson apparently bought a lot of IPs from video games from the 80s and plans on releasing more games. Will all those games use Charles token? I'm not sure. Will all those games be on Stuff.io? Probably. So Stuff.io is becoming a gaming platform. I already hear people saying that, hey, they should have stayed with book and they fucked up when they went to Stuff with adding music and videos. They're kind of spreading themselves, stretching themselves too thin. Maybe, maybe not. When we say that they're getting into gaming, I definitely don't believe it's gonna be like a Switch 2, PlayStation 5 and Xbox, whatever it is now. I believe it's more gonna be like the indie side, and it's pretty cool because when you go to on Steam, for instance, a lot of indie games are not super expensive and they become super popular. So what if your Steam library became a Stuff library and you can actually sell your games, and maybe one step further, the in-game assets. So this is quite a big announcement. For me, what I take out of that is that Charles wants to do more, and with these game IPs that he got, he plans to do more than games. So here we can think maybe, I don't know, some books, some videos, some music, maybe some stuff which will again be on Stuff.io. So this is pretty big. Really happy to see this game out. The only way to play so far is to join the Telegram, because it's a Telegram app. Game is not out yet, don't get scammed, be careful. Nice to see finally a Charles use case. And last but not least, the biggest announcement was that Stuff.io is building their layer 2. This was not the news. The news was that they're building it with Fluid tokens. Fluid, I mean, they're forced to reckon with on Cardano, on Bitcoin as well. They have this chain agnostic approach. They launched recently the Aquarium, which basically can become a validator for Babel fees. Babel fees mean that, hey, you want to send something to someone, you don't want to pay your transaction fee in ADA, you want to use Stuff maybe, so you can do that. So they definitely have the knowledge into building a network with validators, and now they're putting that at the service of Stuff. Just to clarify, Aquarium is not the Stuff L2, it's just the team Fluid tokens who has experience in building networks will build the one for Stuff. So the Stuff blockchain is coming, and here there are a few things to say. First of all, it's going to be based on Midgard, which is Cardano. So we're going to have an L2 on Cardano. They've been very clear during the space they did earlier this week that they prefer Cardano. Just the most secure. You know how much fees you're going to pay. You know that your transaction is not going to fail. It's going to be there. So when you need certainty, is the best blockchain. And now they're going to build the L2 on top of that. So Midgard here is an optimistic roll up, open sourced, which should be mainnet ready by the end of 2025. So it's not yet. But here are a few things I want to explain. What is an optimistic rollup? The rollup is the idea that you process your transactions off-chain and then you dump them all at once. So like a big block of transactions, it's called a rollup. You dump that on the layer 1, so on Cardano. Optimistic means that every transaction that you processed on your L2 is considered valid. De facto, it's valid. So this allows you to get very fast, I'd say, finality in a sense of your transaction. And this is very, 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 very important, is that basically once stuff has their own L2, you're gonna mint, and in less than 1 second you get your asset on the stuff layer 2. So basically Web 2 experience with Web 3 benefits. And this is essential to get to mass onboarding. Not only you're gonna spend way less in fees because you're gonna process a ton of transaction on the L2 and then just put one rollup on the layer 1. So you save a lot on fees, minting the NFT, this ADA, so this minimum ADA that travels with the NFT, that as well. So a lot of savings, super fast. Perfect. But at what cost? The cost of centralization. I mean, it's not a secret that the fastest blockchains are the ones that are centralized. It just makes sense. Here, what they want to build is layer 2 with people they trust, at least at the beginning. So we could imagine that Stuff is building the blockchain. I asked Grok. Grok said 9 to 18 months. So chill. It's not going to be right now. You see Midgard, if it's ready by the end of the year, then Stuff layer 2 can only be ready after that. Yeah. So sometime next year, we'll have the layer 2. But my point was that it's a blockchain. So you have different node operators, different like stake pool in a sense. And they want to do it with people they know. They said, for instance, they could have their own node. Ingram could have one, and IOG could have another one. And they all know each other. They can all process transactions, and they know that everyone is honest, so they can process super fast. So what's good and what's bad? Well, what's good is that it goes super fast, they trust each other, and it makes the chain resistant to DDoS attacks or 51% attacks. So no one can try to control everything and change everything because they know each other. Each node validator will be made public. So I want to say these are the people who have a vetted interest in the blockchain succeeding. So no bad actors, I would say. The con of that is that, if you don't have decentralization, then more chances that it goes down. I mean, imagine a blockchain with 3 people. It doesn't sound very resilient to me. Of course, there are big companies and, Stuff, it's in the interest for the blockchain to always be online. They'll put the money to secure as much as possible. But, kind of worst case scenario, what's going to happen? But then in principle makes a lot of sense because they're going to give this Web 2 experience to be fast finality, big volume. Problem with other L2s like Base, which they're using now for the giveaways that are cheap, is that Base is just a generalist blockchain. It's not made for media assets. So here they're creating really the thing that is specific to them, to their needs, and things that will allow things like sending assets to friends, minting a lot at once, doing huge giveaways, and you mint your thing like 1-2 seconds, just the time that your web page refreshes, it's already on chain on the layer 2. And then you want to send it to someone else already? Yeah, go for it. Maybe it was a show, you watched it, you don't need it anymore, you want to rent it. Here you go. So the experience will be much, much much better, totally Web 2, and for mass adoption, it's really vital. What's then the other question is, okay, we have the Stuff layer 2, it's made for media assets. Of course, it's gonna use the Stuff token, but use it for what? If we look at the latest tokenomics which were released, they take a portion of stuff out of every sale. Out of every sale, they buy some Stuff tokens, which they then use to power layer 2 node rewards. And node rewards, but okay, one node is book, so they're buying stuff for themselves, and the other one is Ingram and IOG, or IOHK, I'm not sure which one, I'm a bit confused here, but do they care about Stuff tokens? I'm not sure. I think this may come into play once they go beyond the vetted node validators that they want to decentralize and open it to anyone. Like, hey, you have some Stuff tokens, you can run your own node. If I take the one from Frit, look how it looks like for their aquarium model. 30,000 free tokens, 1 GB of RAM and disk space, Cardano node, Blockfrost API key, and a wallet with 10 ADA. So basically not much, it's super accessible. Maybe Stuff layer 2 will be like that. I'm not so sure because they want fast finality, so it sounds like you need good hardware, but I don't know, I'm not so deep into it to understand. My point is that, okay, with every sale, they buy Stuff tokens to give to the node validators. Okay, that's cool. But the other thing is that basically you will pay all transaction fees on the layer 2 with Stuff. And now Stuff is used all the time. Because here we are talking about an asset sale, like doesn't matter the blockchain, they convert to USD, they buy stuff and so on. But if all transactions happen on Stuff layer 2, then that's crazy, because at the moment, okay, not much happening. They sell hundreds of copies of whatever they sell each week. Not much activity. But let's fast forward. The L2 is here, so the big 5 probably is here. The top 10 publisher is here as well. We may have some studios, some maybe YouTube creators, content creators. And now, wait, I have maybe 80,000 or 100,000 books. They sell a few copies of each every day. So we get maybe 1 million transactions per day. And they all use the Stuff token. Now it sounds like they're gonna churn a lot of stuff. Now the question is, okay, they use that stuff, but where does it go? It all goes to the node validators, so it just goes back in the pocket of Stuff. Not sure how it's gonna work. Are they gonna burn some? We don't know. A lot to learn, but actually they're gonna release a roadmap about it soon. As I said, Grok said 9 to 18 months. For me, I see it end of next year, I suppose. But then what's great is that they were saying that then you could have big actors like Penguin Random House or Universal Music becoming nodes as well. Because, hey, they want to use the Stuff blockchain for their offering. And then you get a lot of big names with huge catalogs just on the Stuff blockchain, and Stuff becomes the media blockchain with all the biggest names in the world, and everyone who buys something or gets gifted something, some media content, does it on the Stuff blockchain. So I think the potential is enormous in terms of volume and activity, and it just makes sense for those big companies if they want to go the blockchain way, that hey, I'm not gonna go with Base or I don't know whom, things where I don't know if my transaction will go, how many fees I'm gonna pay. I go with Stuff, it's made for media. We know them, they are backed up by Ingram, we know them, Bertelsmann, we know them. So here, huge potential. This is even further away, but that's what is being built. Now, If we look at the price action of stuff, we see Evo weekend was there, nice spike, then hit back down. I'm looking at the Stuff USD chart because, again, for those in the back who didn't hear it, there is a market maker on Stuff. There's an arbitrage bot. Stuff you can buy on MEXC. MEXC you trade against USDT. So MEXC is, they have their bot which is only looking at the USD value. So when ADA goes up, then the token on the DEX is worth more because it's Stuff versus ADA. So, you know, the ADA goes up, so Stuff is worth more in USD terms. So if it's worth more on the DEX than on the SEX, then the SEX will dump on the DEX because, hey, if it can make money there. So then the price goes down and is balanced with the SEX. And that's the thing. Like, I hear people complaining that, hey, it's like bleeding against ADA. Yeah, as long as ADA will go up, it's gonna bleed against ADA. It follows USD. Don't trade Stuff against ADA. It's not gonna work. If you want to make a lot of stuff, or to trade Stuff, trade ADA. If you believe it's gonna go up, when it reaches your target, rotate into Stuff. But don't keep your things in Stuff instead of ADA, because Stuff is not gonna move when ADA moves. It's gonna move when there is when there will be more people coming in, more retail who will use the centralized exchange. If you want to buy Stuff, buy it on MEXC if you can, so that then the price on MEXC goes up. So they have, so MEXC has to sell their tokens to make it go down again, yeah. Or actually MEXC will buy from the DEX because it's cheaper on the DEX and everything will go up. I mean, don't quote me on this, not financial advice, I'm not a market maker, but it's really the message: trade Stuff against USD, not ADA. You're gonna just be sad otherwise. Anyway, but we do see price increase since Rare Evo, getting back to half a cent. We're still like 90% down all-time high. I've to realize that more than a year ago we were like at 5 cents, so 10x. Crazy, the potential. So yeah, will this layer 2 be it for increasing the price? I'm not sure. Probably short term with speculation. Then mid-term people are gonna be paper hands, and then long-term, when the layer 2 is out and millions of transactions are happening, yeah, there will be high demand for Stuff. All right, so layer 2 definitely needed, definitely a big step, but I would say where it brings us back is that I feel like if it takes 9 to 18 months to get this layer 2, then what's gonna happen in the meantime? Like, will they do everything on base? Will they wait until the layer 2 is ready to go big? Is it pushing everything back another year? I don't know. Time will tell. 1 million user goal this year. Personally, I'm banking on 100k. Still great numbers, but yeah, I feel like they think things through, and it takes time. It's like, I know it sounds like they go in all directions, but they have to be there early so that no one else gets there, and then they're building those things. Mass adoption, I think, will still take some time, but we are on the trajectory. We will be getting there eventually. So just need to ride the wave as usual. All right, I think that was a good video, like long enough. Thanks for watching. I'll see you, I guess, next time there's a big announcement, or at least within the next 30 days. Until then, thanks for liking, commenting, sharing, and take care.